Please be aware that the following podcast may contain adult themes and adult language. Also, this is just for fun, and these are just our opinions. We're not experts, just really, really emotionally invested.
รายการต่อไปนี้
Welcome back to That's Such BL, the podcast that gives you your fix of Thai BL, with a scoop of Asian dramas, a dash of Western queer media, and a sprinkling of controversial opinions. I'm your host G.
And I'm your host E.
And it's the end of October now.
Ooh, spooky season!
When this episode will be airing will be Halloween.
I'm so excited.
Oh,
I love Halloween.
Usually I'd be excited,
Yeah.
but you can't really be excited about anything this year.
No.
I think I'm kind of using your plays as my second bubble at the moment. So obviously, if I'm still allowed to see my second bubble, we did talk about maybe me coming round on Halloween night. We're not really expecting children to come round. Hopefully not, because I don't think that's a very good idea.
Yeah, no.
But we might just chill out, watch a fun Halloween movie. That's about all you can do this year, to be honest. And that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, we'll make it fun. We'll put on something like a crappy scary film, but we're not good with scary movies, so... Are you good with scary? You're fine with scary movies.
You're not good with them.
I was just trying to rope the royal we rope you in.
If it were up to me, we'd be watching The Haunting of Bly Manor.
Oh my
but
God.
I know you'd hate that.
Well, we could watch it and I'll just close my eyes.
In our episodes, we like to do a bit of a pre-ramble before we get into our meat of the podcast, which is the hot topic. So we like to discuss briefly a few things that have been happening in the BL community on Instagram or in Twitter, on the socials. One thing that has happened a few weeks ago now, but we're just touching on it in this episode because I remembered, is Earth withdrawing from Two Moons Season 3.
Right.
So he did a big announcement on Instagram. Someone was, as usual, was very kind enough to translate it into English. He basically said he's going to withdraw from playing Wayo. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
He basically said he's going to withdraw from playing Wayo in Season 3. He put this down to, I believe, family reasons or personal reasons. I can't remember the exact wording. Maybe I saved it. Hang on, maybe I saved it.
Yeah, have a look.
I did save it. Okay.
Yay!
So I have the statement here. He basically says he loved playing the character. He made a lot of friendships, and basically he just says that it's because of personal or family reasons. He will not be returning to the role. I believe he will be doing Two Moons 2 related events or things of the sort while they need him to. So any kind of work that he is, I don't want to say required to do, because I feel like the company would fully just kind of let him go if he needed to. But he has said that he will fulfill prior engagements and
contractually
work.
obliged bits, yeah.
So that's basically what he said. I believe there were rumours quite a while ago that a few of the actors may not be returning for Season 3. Obviously we have Earth now saying he won't be. But we haven't heard yet of anyone else pulling out. But we also haven't heard really any news about the filming of Season 3.
It's been quiet.
It's been very quiet. And, you know, it's been a while. Like, they're starting to lose traction.
Yeah, no, totally. And we know that, like, other stuff is being filmed too, so it's not like that it's still kind of necessarily only being affected by pandemic.
I mean, it's either stuff has been happening and they have not been able to film yet.
Right.
Or it's just not being treated as a priority. It's
right.
one or the other. And I hope it's not the former, because I feel like it's been a bit of a cursed series so far.
Right.
They've had to change the full cast already once.
Well, this is what I said to you earlier. It's like a reverse American Horror Story, where instead of having the same cast telling different stories every season, it's the same story every season, and they're just going to change the cast every time. I'm not going to lie, I'm actually kind of down with that. What if they just rebooted that, like, did the same... They didn't even move forward with the story. They just did the same thing again, or went slightly further. Like 2 Moons goes a certain way, then 2 Moons 2 does that, but a bit more. 2 Moons 3 that, but a bit more than that, but with a completely new cast.
That sounds like some sort of horrible nightmare.
Like a Groundhog
scenario.
Day.
Yeah.
I've decided that's the new thing I'm going to pitch to GMM.
You do you, E. Something else that has been happening during the recording and airing of this episode is the Kin Porsche casting.
Ooh, yeah.
We have some opinions. They're not. I don't think they're too controversial. We're just a little bit confused. If you haven't been following the Kin Porsche casting announcements, basically they started off with kind of letting us know who they were seeing for auditions. They also posted about when auditions would be happening and where. I think that's because they wanted fans to actually come and support, maybe sit in, because I know that did happen for Tarntype, where they had actual fans in the room.
Oh, of course they did, yeah.
So maybe that's why they did that. However, I think maybe with all of that, something got mixed up and people started to think that it was a voting process, that we were being shown these actors and we had to kind of vote on who we like the look of. And once that started to kind of circulate, definitely on Instagram, people were a bit confused, because obviously that's not really how you should cast something.
No.
We picked up on it. We put it on our stories. We were like, does anyone know what exactly is going on? Because this seems very bizarre. And then the same day, a little bit later, the company did put out a statement, and they were like, this is absolutely not what's happening. We would never do that. It's not a voting process. And I appreciate that, because obviously that could have spread like wildfire, that misinformation. It already was starting to spread like wildfire, and people weren't happy about it. Very rightly so, because if that is the way you're going to cast a series, that's not a good start. You shouldn't be voting on a picture of someone.
Yeah.
You know, they're an actor, and they should be cast appropriately through auditions by an actual professional casting director, not by a fan base. So what's been happening the last kind of few days, or over the past week? This is from us recording this, by the way. This is not from when this will be aired, because we do pre-record these. But during the last week or so, the company's Instagram account have been posting the finalists. I say the word finalists, that is how they are portraying it, so I'm going to call them finalists. But again, it's not a voting process. They've been posting the people they've put through to the next round of auditions, basically. And from the looks of some of them, the look they are going for is very much fresh face. At least for probably one of them. They probably want a fresh face.
I'm really looking forward to it. And I think the other thing, just to mention briefly, that we chatted about in our stories, is that people understandably had been kind of led to believe through a series of unfortunate events that they would be able to nominate their favourite couples. And I get why people will be really excited to kind of fan cast their favourite couples and things. But I also think that people maybe forget that, I mean, Bright and Win, who were a really popular choice for it, I think I'm right in thinking that I know that Bright had done a couple of kind of TV shows and things before that, but never anything in BL, never anything that was received as well as this was. And the same, I think, for Win. Like, they were both pretty fresh faces for it, definitely in the BL scene, people love them now. If they hadn't cast people who were new, we wouldn't have them. Same for Gulf. Gulf was someone who was pretty much a brand new face on the scene, and people love him. I mean, there is a certain point where you have to cast somebody new, and I'm really excited that there might be new people that we can become fans of. Like, we don't know these guys. They might be amazing and have really exciting futures and be people who we're going to be super into.
Now, for this episode's hot topic, I would like to talk about something close to both of our hearts. This is news that has already been out for probably a couple of months already, maybe just under a couple of months. But I really wanted to talk about the announcement of History 4. And I am going to say history because I know it is his story, but I'm going to be saying that a lot this episode, and I'm just going to be saying history, so deal with it.
Yeah, history. Like, I think that's how you're meant. I think that's how you're meant to say it. And when you read it in your head, you're meant to be like, oh, his story. But like, everyone says history, right?
Let's just all agree that we know it is his story.
And we're not going to do it that way.
Let's say it now. And I'm letting you know I'm going to be saying history. Okay? We good?
Get over it. Just pause it. Take a second.
So, History 4 has been announced.
I am very excited, but also I have feelings. I'm going to let you speak first.
Well, yeah, that is basically
what you want to say.
Me as well. Like, feelings are there. Good feelings, bad feelings, questionable feelings, confused feelings.
Let's unpack it.
All the feelings. So let's start with the announcement. So this was basically a photograph. This is how they did it. They did a photograph and like a little statement. So the Line TV Taiwan CEO announced that History 4 is in pre-production. So that is set in stone. We have the announcement. And he has been quoted saying that because of the popularity internationally of Make Our Days Count, which is the last history that we've gotten, so that's History 3, Make Our Days Count, that it's most likely going to be a sequel to that. Now, this wording is interesting. I hope my source is right and that this is an actual quote from him. If it is, then the wording is very strange. He said highly likely.
Yeah.
Now, this obviously means that they haven't made up their mind yet, I guess, or they have and they just don't want to like reveal it yet, but it's not official that it's going to be a sequel to Make Our Days Count.
And it's weird, like, all of it is, I mean, it's weird in the first place that he would even suggest it would be a sequel, because that's not how the history series has gone. Mm-hmm. It's all self-contained stories. There's no precedent for them continuing a story. And that one in particular, I know it was the most popular, but makes the least sense to me. No spoilers, but due to the way they wrapped things up, makes the least sense to me as one that they would offer a kind of a second season of.
Yeah, and for those of you who have watched Make Our Days Count, very rightfully we are confused.
Yeah.
And I am not going to say why, because it is a massive spoiler. So I want to be very respectful for anyone who has not yet seen the series. So I'm not going to reveal the spoiler. However, if you have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. But because of this spoiler of the series, there are questions everyone is asking as to how and why this is going to be a sequel to that series.
I'm so confused. But then he's added in this extra dimension of probably going to be. I don't know how they can be in pre-production.
Well, this is one of my sources, okay? I've found quite a lot of information on Twitter, so I hope these sources are correct. However, take everything with a pinch of salt, because I'm getting my information from social media. But one of my sources has said that actually in the novel, there is an alternate ending.
Oh,
Yep.
Okay.
Hold your horses. So, really trying not to reveal the spoiler here, apparently there is an alternate ending where it doesn't actually happen. It's a dream.
Oh my god.
And this user has suggested that maybe that is the route they're going to take.
Okay.
Which
so
I hate.
That changes everything.
I hate that it's just a dream thing.
That's one of my least favourite tropes in anything.
I thought we left that trope back in the 70s, to be honest.
That's what I was going to say. What's that American... Was it Dynasty or something?
Yes.
Or like,
Mm-hmm.
like, or Who Shot JR? Or I don't know if that was the storyline, but anyway, it was all just a dream.
I really hope, if that is true, again, I don't know the novel, so I hope this source is true, but I hope they don't do that. That is such a cop-out. If you're going to be... I'm going to be using a reference here. If you don't understand, then look it up. X-Men 3ing it. So, X-Men 3ing it is something that should never be done. It's such a cop-out from the filmmakers, whoever's involved, basically. And it's so lazy. Yeah. It is such lazy writing. It's such a lazy idea. I guess because if it did happen in the novel, and it is an alternate ending in the novel, then it's canon, I guess. But like, I feel like if you're going to commit to doing a sequel when you've already used the other ending,
right,
then come up with something better, please. Like, come up with an alternate, like, explanation as to how you're going to do this. Don't just X-Men 3 it, please.
Right. None of this. It was only just a dream. Shit. And I think that obviously, like, it would be a new series. It would be its own thing. But I also feel that, again, doing my best not to spoil anything, that lessens the emotional impact and the message of make your days count. I mean, like, if it... you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm going to touch on this.
Okay.
I'm going to touch on that last episode. So, for those of you who so far are like, what are they talking about? What is this history? I have no idea what's going on. Firstly, you need to, because...
Get yourselves on Vicky.
His story...
Yeah.
I'll say it correctly once. His story is a Taiwanese BL creation. I'll say creation. It is a creation. It's a work of art. That basically is giving Thai BL a run for its money. It has kind of been adopted into the community of Thai BL. It is an honorary Thai BL as much as The Untamed is, I guess.
Yeah.
But basically it started with His Story 1, and these were more movies. They were like one long movie-length episode, low budget.
Like self-contained series.
Yes,
yeah.
Very self-contained, very much its own thing, and that was it. And then it was move on to the next His Story. That's why it's called His Story, because each one is a different story. So we have season 1 like that. Also season 2 follows the same route. However, the season 2 stories is where it started to really gain traction. With the first season we have History Stay Away From Me, which I've seen. It wasn't the first one I saw. I've not seen these in order. Then we have History Obsessed, and then History My Hero. I've not seen My Hero.
I want to watch My Hero. That's on my to-watch list.
So season 2 is really where this series starts to get more traction and kind of ups the budget, ups the amount of interest in it. So we have History Right or Wrong, which I've not seen, but I do know the general story of it, which I think is it's an interesting topic, definitely. And then we have History 2, Boundary Crossing or Crossing the Line. It could be either of those. Now this is the one where I thought, okay, they've got something here.
Yeah. This
is a really good story. This one, very cute.
If you like Haikyuu.
Oh, definitely, it's
anime.
very Haikyuu vibes. It's the one that most relates to Thai BL. I think maybe that's why it got so popular internationally. And then from that, I think the either the production company or someone just thought, right, okay, we need to actually put money into this now.
Yeah.
Because then move on to History 3 Trapped.
Oh, the best one.
History 3
ever.
Trapped. So with History 3, we get a much longer series. It's an actual full-blown series. With the previous series, I think they might have been aired in small mini-series. So they were like full-length movie style. However, the way they were aired were in smaller episodes.
Like 3 or 4 episodes.
Yeah, like maybe 4 episodes. With History 2, a little bit more, like they doubled the episodes to about 8, I think. So with each series, I think they're testing the waters more and more. They're thinking, right, we could probably do more with the next series because it's getting popular. So this is where they landed on History 3. They're giving us full-blown, full-length episodes and a full-length series, especially with History 3 Trapped. This was such a pleasant surprise.
So good.
History 3 Trapped is, I think we can say it's both of our favourites out of all of them.
100%.
I really liked Crossing the Line or Boundary Crossing. And
Me too.
I still stand to the fact that I think they should do a sequel of that as well.
That would work. That would definitely work.
But I think a lot of us, especially online, I've seen a lot of people online agree with me here, were hoping for a Trapped sequel. If anything was going to get a sequel for History 4, it should have been Trapped. It's disappointing that it probably won't be. However, there are valid reasons why it might not be and probably won't be. And some of those reasons are to do with the actors or the company or the management. You know, the usual stuff as to why things go wrong.
The standard reasons.
But I won't touch too much on that because I don't know the reasons. I just think there probably are reasons why it's not going to be a Trapped sequel. After that, we get Make Our Days Count, which is the latest one, which was released a year ago,
Yeah,
roughly.
like late last year, I think.
Yeah. And again, that one, immensely popular, full-blown series, and clearly did very well enough that they are actually going to continue it into History 4. They're not going to do a fresh story, which is disappointing, I guess, but at the end of the day, if your fans are screaming for sequels for your previous series, then maybe you should kind of take that into account. But again, it's not been confirmed that it is a Make Our Days Count sequel, which I still think is very bizarre. Like, you're alluding to it very much being so, but you're not going to confirm it. Okay.
It's a weird choice. It's a weird choice for them, and I am disappointed because it might feel, if you're not familiar with the History series, it might seem like a disappointing thing that you'll get really invested in these stories and they'll be self-contained and don't necessarily have the premise of a sequel. But they've gotten so good at making like very rich, really complex stories that kind of fit perfectly in one season. And I'm almost a bit disappointed that we're not going to get to see more original stuff, because both of the series, History 3, just like incredible concepts and so well executed. The production value on them is so high. If you're used to watching Thai BLs, which in a lot of ways, there's a lot of variety and quality in terms of the production, even if people are putting their all in, not everything is super smooth. You really will, you won't find any of that in these. They're very, very tight. There's no rustling mics. The plot is very sound. They're very well scripted. Cinematography is beautiful. I could go on, but yeah, it's
Yeah. And it seems to me that their criteria moving forward is going to be maybe 2 full-blown series in a season. So like, while there might be a sequel for Make Our Days Count, the second series for History 4 might be a new story.
I hope so.
Yeah, well, yeah, hopefully. I mean,
it sounds like they don't even know at this point, to be
exactly.
honest.
All of this is speculation at the moment. Again, if you're listening to this way in the future when it's already aired or something and we're very wrong, then sorry about that.
Yeah.
But this has just been announced for us in this moment, and the speculation is real. We do not know much at this point. All we've been told is, oh, there's gonna be History 4. It may be a sequel to Make Our Days Count. Oh, we'll have to wait and see. Like, that is our information right now.
That's what we're working with.
And everyone is just like speculating like crazy online at the moment. So that is our views on it.
Yeah.
Wish it was Trapped. However, there seem to be issues behind it not being a Trapped sequel, which is disappointing, but it happens.
Exactly. Anyone who's a Perth Saint fan will appreciate that sometimes things don't always go the way you want them to.
Yeah.
And that can affect the series we get in the future. But I'm glad that we have it. If anyone hasn't seen any of the history series, please go check them out. You can watch them all legally, professionally translated on Viki. They're so wonderful. History 3 Trapped has some darker themes, but the plot is just so good. So just check out some content warnings for it. Be aware that it can be heavy in places, but it is just a really, really beautiful story.
Yeah, some of the history episodes and series do have plot points or running themes that are a bit darker, a bit more adult. So maybe you would want to look into it before you just start blindly watching it all, in case there is something that might upset you. Because I know that at least one of them in each history, so 1, 2 and 3, at least one of them will have kind of darker themes and maybe triggering themes for some people. So I would say do your research on which ones you may want to watch that won't upset you. We did actually have someone on our DMs kind of ask us which ones have upsetting endings, because I know a lot of you out there are very, very against bad endings. And
me too.
I don't blame you. Like, for when I decided to watch Make Our Days Count, I knew what was coming just because I knew. I had researched it and I kind of knew how it was going to end. I knew everyone hated the last episode, but I decided to watch the last episode, and it did low-key destroy me. It's one of the most emotional things I've ever watched, I think. Very emotional, and it won't be for everyone. So if you're not into bad endings, definitely do your research before you watch the histories.
Yeah. Just on that note, just to quickly plug a website that has been really helpful for me. There's a website called doesthedogdie.com. And you can type in, I know I just checked both the history 3s are on there, and it has a really extensive list where people who've seen pretty much any, and it's not just Asian stuff, it's all kinds of TV shows, movies, etc. A really long list of anything that people might find distressing, triggering, upsetting, and you can type in the series and with only minor spoilers get a really, really comprehensive list of the things that are in there that might be distressing. And alternatively, it will tell you what definitely doesn't happen, so you can go into it knowing like, oh, okay, I know that XYZ is going to be cool. So both of the history 3s are definitely on there, so you can check them out, but if you need it for other shows too, doesthedogdie.com.
And so we come to that part of the podcast where we're going to play a little game.
I'm looking forward to it. What have you prepared for us?
Well, this episode is going to be a little bit of a Halloween special, because this episode will be coming out the day before Halloween.
Ooh,
I believe.
Exciting.
Not quite Halloween, but the day before. So I thought I'd treat you to a little bit of into a special spooky version of BL Pitch Fight.
Woo! Oh, should I say ooh?
Ooh. So we have, as usual, E.
Hello.
And we also have, back by popular demand,
By popular demand, I'm just in the same room. Back again.
Right, so yes, we have T back. And this time we're going to switch things up. Me, Admin G, is going to lead this one. And T and D are going to be pitching me their ideas. So, do you want to hear the prompt?
Yes,
Of course.
I'm so ready.
So, we'll have a little bit of a spooky theme. My prompt is very close to my heart. So the prompt I'll be giving you is simply M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh my god.
Now, I'm going to elaborate. I will be looking specifically for a Shyamalan twist. Okay, so that is your prompt,
Oh
a
my
Shyamalan
God.
twist. Now, for those of you who are not aware who M. Night Shyamalan is, he is a film director. He's done many works, but he is better known for his horror/thriller films, such as most recently The Visit, Split, Sixth Sense, Signs. He's done lots more. Bit controversial at times. He's a bit hot and cold, a bit like Marmite. You either love him or you hate him. And one major thing he has in pretty much all of his films is a completely out of the blue mental twist at some point in the film. And it's known in the film circles as the Shyamalan twist. So that is what I will be requiring from T&E today.
Oh my god, I'm gonna lose this round.
Okay, so without further ado, we're going to start the clock. 1 minute to prepare their prompts for the Shyamalan twist.
Wow.
Woo!
รายการต่อไปนี้
And we're back.
Yes.
Once again, it has been exactly a minute.
Oh yeah, totally.
And I believe, E, you're going to hit me first.
I'm going to go first. I'm going to preface this by saying I have never seen a film by M. Night Shyamalan.
No, you have not.
Do you know what?
So-
No, I do think that is true now. that I think
You've
about
not even seen The Last Airbender.
No. So I'm a big weenie and I get very frightened by anything that's even like a tiny bit scary.
Yeah, but he's done other things.
So let me tell you what I've decided to do with my
Okay.
limited knowledge,
Mhm.
okay? I am aware that he wrote or was involved with The Sixth Sense, as you mentioned. And I don't know how that film goes, but I have a vague idea. So I'm going to do... This is what I'm proposing. It's a remake of The Sixth Sense with, let me tell you my cast. Fiat's going to play Haley Joel Osment's character. Cincto's going to be Bruce Willis's character, who's a therapist, I think. And Christ is going to play Toni Collette's character, who's doing something business, lawyer. My notes say put Christ in a suit. So that's where we're at. Okay, that's the cast. This is how it goes. Fiat sees a ghost. The ghost is played by Gunn. He's extremely well dressed, so Fiat doesn't know that he's a ghost at first. Fiat, Cincto and Chris move to a big house in the middle of the countryside. This is what I think happens in The Sixth Sense. I don't know if this is right. It's extremely haunted, but Cincto and Chris don't know it because they are too busy having moments of unfulfilled sexual tension. They almost kiss 54 times. That number is... It has to be 54 times. But they are continually interrupted by Fiat telling them about the neighbours that he sees. Spoilers, there are no neighbours around, but Cincto and Chris are too dumb and sexy to notice. All right? So that's happening in the foreground, but they're like a little bit worried about him because he's, off doing his thing. Fiat makes friends with the rest of the ghosts that he doesn't know are ghosts, who were played by the entire cast of My Engineer. I had to get Perth in there somehow. That's my nod.
Oh, the entire cast.
The entire cast.
Okay, this is a big project.
It's a huge undertaking. Like before, I want this to be an ensemble. I want to showcase
It's going to be a
everyone's
regular
talents.
thing with you.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's my brand. They come together to stage an amateur production of High School Musical 3. They have a wonderful time. Fiat still
just
does...
like Sixth Sense, yeah.
Yep, Fiat still doesn't know that there's something has to happen in the middle of the Sixth Sense, and I don't know what it is. He's a child, so maybe he's like doing something creative. I don't know.
God.
They have a wonderful time. Fiat still does not know they are ghosts. The ghosts do not tell him that they're ghosts. Then Cincto and Chris get invited to the final performance. We've skipped ahead a bit, right? They should notice that it's only Fiat acting on stage, but because the rest of the cast are ghosts, but they're too busy finally getting it on with each other to realise. It's only when it comes to the final bow that they notice that Fiat is the only one there. They go to confront him about... This is where I've tried to do my Shyamalan twist. They go to confront him about his ghost theatre troupe when police officer Techno from the last thing that I wrote... Do you remember?
I do remember, yeah.
This is a crossover. He shows up, and to take Fiat into custody, they protest and they're super confused. What's going on? But then they realise they are also ghosts who died mysteriously on the journey to the new home in the countryside, and only Fiat's been able to see them the whole time. And then I wrote, because I don't like things being scary and sad, anyway, they join the ghost acting troupe and everyone's happy in the end. Question mark, question mark, question mark.
True.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to circle back to weird BL Sixth Sense, and we're going to hear from Tina.
Okay, so I basically ignored pretty much everything that you might want in this and just wrote something that I would really like to see.
Of course.
But I have tried to keep it true to the M. Night Shyamalan vibe and the twist, obviously. Me and G have watched a lot of M. Night Shyamalan. We went to go see The Visit together, I'm pretty sure, which was an experience, to say the least. Mm-hmm. So I've tried to bear that in mind. And I do want to say there is a content warning for bad... I don't even know how to say it without giving it away, but M. Night Shyamalan is not the most sensitive person when it comes to mental illness and representations of that on screen. So I'm just going to put that out there. If you haven't seen any M. Night Shyamalan and you don't like those things handled badly, just don't watch it. It's bad. But anyway. Okay, so I don't have an elaborate cast. I only have the two main characters. Just saying, it's a little bit shady.
Yeah, alright.
Max Tull played two police officers on the night shift tracking down a serial murderer. Tull is the hardened cop with a tragic past who joined the force for revenge on this very killer who he's been chasing for 10 years. Max is the rookie who instantly falls head over heels for the cold but alluring Tull. Tull is initially quite cold to Max, brushing off his kind gestures of romance as he thinks it will interfere with his goal of tracking down the murderer. But soon Tull falls for the charming and naive Max, as Max demonstrates his passion for justice. On one stormy night, while the pair are on a stakeout, Tull reveals that the reason he's so hell-bent on revenge is that the killer murdered his brother in front of him when he was a young teen, and he's sworn revenge ever since. Max is touched by Tull letting down his walls and vows to help him track down the killer. That is, until episode 9, when Tull receives a phone call from the killer himself. Max warns him not to rush off into anything, but Tull brushes it off, seizing his chance for revenge. When Tull reaches the location that the killer has told him, he is finally confronted by Max.
What?
Ooh.
Max reveals that he is an undercover psychologist hired by the police force to observe Tull, who is in fact revealed to be the killer.
Wait.
What?
Tull has a split personality that is assumed...
This is Shutter Island.
Wait.
You're just Shutter Island.
Bear with me. Tull has a split personality that has assumed the identity of his brother who was killed and has been a copycat killer the entire time.
Oh my god.
However, Max refuses to turn Tull in and instead runs away with him to live deep in the forest where he can continue studying his condition. Mic drop.
Wow.
So what we have here is The Sixth Sense, High School Musical, and
so mean.
Shutter Island.
Yeah, but sexy. Sexy Shutter Island.
Sexy Shutter Island or musical theatre Sixth Sense.
Oh, God.
Which are
so
great
good.
choices, actually.
I know, well done.
Thank you. For having never seen an M. Night Shyamalan picture.
Yeah.
Movie picture, I have to say I don't think I did such a bad job.
I think I did a great job.
You did a great job.
I would watch that.
Well,
I was very...
I'm so glad you're so supportive of each other, but now you have to fight. So
Now it's time to duel.
it's time to nitpick at each other's if you can. So
all
go.
right.
I'll open up the forum. You can nitpick me first.
Well, I want to know what's going to happen in the middle. Like, you've got a really solid beginning premise, like they're going to be into each other, and he's going to find out the twist in the end.
Mm-hmm.
But what are they doing in the meantime? Like, where's the meat in the middle?
They're investigating this serial killer.
So, but are there any like clues that you can pick up on that it's going to be?
Yeah, it'll be one of those things where it will kind of make sense in retrospect.
Is he going to kill anybody while they're on the beat? Like during the
well,
film?
I think people will die, but we won't be able to see who's killed them because obviously, like,
Yeah, no, of course, but like you're saying that while he's investigating, his split personality, handled so sensitively, is going to be on the rampage.
yeah, I think so. And I like the idea of Tull being a killer. I think that's fun. I think there is something murderous about him. Do you agree?
I can see that.
Yeah.
I think he has the right eyes for it.
I debated at first to have Max as the as a split personality, but he's just too
I
much.
think either of them could very easily be a serial killer.
Yeah, I agree. Why does that make them more sexier? I don't know, but there we go.
I love it.
Yeah.
I really love it.
One major criticism I do have of yours, E, is that you haven't actually seen any of the source material. So
I think that's what's going to make it fresher.
Is
because,
it though?
Yeah, because
Are you gonna call it Sixth Sense reboot?
Yeah, that's what it's going to be called. The Sixth Sense reboot. Working title.
Also,
wait,
M. Night Shyamalan films do not have happy endings, period. Like,
well, with the happy ending doesn't have to be, I mean, it's sad, like they lost their child and they're dead, so I guess it's sad. They don't have to join the theatre troupe. What, can we think of a pun for the Sixth Sense? The Christ Sense?
the Chris sense is pretty good.
The Christ Sense. I could get on board with that.
The Christ
What
Sense.
I can't get on board with is why you decided High School Musical 3.
Yeah, that's just E being E, I think.
Because
No, but why the third one?
because it's got that play within a play thing happening, and I just thought it would be really fun to have another play.
Yeah, there's no other famous plays within a plays. High School Musical 3 had to be the one.
Yeah, because it's light and bouncy and irreverent, and it's about finding out who you are. It's about self-discovery, and that's what this film is all about, really. There's a big
M. Night
allegory there,
Shyamalan
actually.
in a nutshell.
But it
Fun,
makes
free.
it even more intense because you're like, wow, this is so nice and lighthearted, and then
it doesn't.
everyone's dead.
Okay, I'm gonna throw a spanner in the works here.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna without any time to prepare.
Oh God.
Please tell me which character M. Night himself is gonna play in your series, because we all know that M. Night loves to put himself
does.
in his own work as a cameo. So I'm gonna start with E.
Yeah.
Please tell me what cameo he is gonna have in this series.
Sharpay Evans.
Wait,
That
so
will
Sharpay
be-
is actually gonna be in this?
Yeah. He's going to be playing. the,
you see this,
the
Ref?
ghost of Ashley Tisdale, who is reprising her role as Sharpay Evans in
Oh God.
High School Musical 3.
This is getting very meta.
The
This
musical,
is
the
getting
series.
very bizarre.
Well, I think he could pull it off.
So wait, he's gonna be playing.
Go on.
He's gonna be playing Ashley as Sharpay.
You're right. I
as a
misspoke.
ghost.
I misspoke. Yes, he's going to be playing the ghost of Ashley Tisdale, who is reprising her role as Sharpay Evans in the amateur
Wait,
production.
So you're saying in this film, Ashley Tisdale is dead?
Yes, in this particular canon, Ashley Tisdale she has passed away.
That is
But-
quite
Is she
dark.
the only one?
But well,
Or
she's
is it the entire cast?
No,
they had
no,
some
no.
kind of like bus crash or something.
because
my
the,
God.
so because the rest of them are going to be just people around. It would be too suspicious if they were all celebrities. But she happens to be in the area and very enthusiastic about the project.
I'm going to offer two options, because the first one that came to mind is just a random pizza boy in one random scene where M. Night walks on and it's a late night at the office and Max goes to pick up the pizza and he goes, hey, have you thought about and then gives him like a clue, a breakthrough, or this. Yeah,
okay.
so because he loves to self-insert, but also like solve all the problems.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my first thought, and then my other thought was like the police captain, and I thought, how funny would that be? Because obviously, like we just come off a rewatch of History 3 Trapped. And we were thinking, we really like the police captain character in that because he's quite complex. And I was just thinking that M. Night could be like the least complex, least developed police captain character of all time. He would just be like, we need results! Results! And that would be just his entire character. And I also thought that would I enjoy. Actually, I retract that. I want him to play both the pizza boy and the police captain, and he'll just be in a slightly different costume.
Yes. And there'll be no mention of any of it.
No relation.
No relation.
Or
no mention.
no, there might be one line where the police captain says, "Oh yeah, my cousin delivers pizzas."
My identical
cousin delivers pizzas.
Or the smaller twist could be that the police chief also has a split personality and he moonlights as a pizza boy.
Oh, but there we go.
He just pops up after the big reveal and he's like, and by the way, me too.
You just helped her case.
Oh, well.
What is it?
I was going to fucking win anyway.
We're soon learning about G is that to win, you just need to have one actor playing multiple characters. It's the double offs again.
2 offs, baby.
Yeah. I was also just thinking, how enjoyable would it be to watch M. Night Shyamalan speak Thai for an entire film?
Do you have any closing statements for your case?
Oh, I mean, look, I did my best, but I feel like I was at a disadvantage because I'm not a massive fan of horror, but I enjoyed coming up with it nonetheless. And I do think that I would watch the film that I created. Thank you.
My closing statement is Max Toll sexy.
That's it. Signing off.
Max Toll sexy, me idea good.
Max Toll sexy, me good idea. Win game. Thank you.
I mean, it is pretty clear that T got that one.
Yeah.
Just purely because she had an original-ish idea.
I'm sorry. The whole premise of M. Night Shyamalan is not originality, okay?
Why are you arguing? You won.
This is just between us.
Yeah. This is just some beef we need to work out.
Listen, I appreciate the ties with Shutter Island. I quite enjoyed the twist in Shutter Island. Shutter Island was a very M. Night film, actually.
Can I interject? You could call it Shutter Thailand.
Amazing.
Perfect.
Amazing. We got the Christ Sense and
Shutter
Thailand. Oh, yeah. T got that one. But I did appreciate that you tried
Gold star for
to
trying.
recall a film that you have not seen.
Yeah.
That was quite funny. We're going to end this episode. Thank you very much, T.
Thank you.
As always, it's been a pleasure.
Thanks. Thank you for my win, even though it was backhanded.
It was still a win nonetheless. And on that note, we're going to say goodbye.
Thanks for listening.
Have
Bye-bye.
a good Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
So we also run Thai BL memes over on Instagram, and our podcast-specific account is That's Such BL Podcast, where you can follow us for updates and extra content. So you'll be able to listen to future episodes on our Instagram, That's Such BL Podcast, on IGTV, or you'll be able to find it on any major podcast platform like Apple Music, Spotify, or just the podcast app that you use. Thanks so much for listening.